Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on,
I
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to vote shit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand, got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit.
One West, one West, one West, one West, one West.
Coming up on my new
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping. Kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS. A mean right. That's mean right. We build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to vote shit.
West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me.
I'm one West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends, or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one West rising to prominent. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been as proper since a teeny bopper. But now I'm growing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when the heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me.
Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. And I been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft. Better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. My hymen say I cup full. No room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't U.P.K, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, it'll drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm U.P.K, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, And Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies. And they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the tan leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. Tried everything. I guess me and Yahanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak, and teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring me bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time. This Glock match my handpiece, and I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. She call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm Lord to the King. Until the righteous reign. Lord to the King. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Lord to the King. Them devils can't have me, bitch. I'm Lord to the King. That's right. Bring that hot flame UPK. Lord to the King. Until the righteous reign. Lord to the King. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Lord to the King. Them devils can't have me, bitch. I'm Lord to the King. Bring that hot flame UPK. Lord to the King.
All right, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Damn right, damn right. All right, shalom, Israel, shalom. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushua Barakatham to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashim, Yahushua to the sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group or Christian organization, and we teach the truth according to the Bible. And that's that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the real ethnic Jews, the true people of the Bible. All throughout the Bible, it's talking to one set of people. And if you tune into these classes, this might sound repetitive to you, but the thing is, it has to be repetitive because our people haven't fully grasped this concept about the Bible. All throughout the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament, it's talking to one set of people. One set of people. And if you didn't know that, you might want to go and ask that pastor or your mama's pastor or your grandmama's pastor why he has failed to teach you the basics of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Context is the basics. Just to know who it's talking to, who it's for, that's the basics. You got to go now and ask yourself, the people I've been learning the Bible from, they failed me if I don't know that the Bible is talking to one set of people. Well, the Bible is, in fact, talking to one set of people. And if you read the scriptures, unlike Christians, you understand, unlike the Catholic Church, unlike Muslims, we actually read the scriptures in I.S.U.P.K. And that Bible says the children of Israel, the old nation of Israel. So like, Shabbat, you knock this camera a little bit, turn it back this way, just a little bit. Just a little bit. The bottom part. Just a little bit. It's a little pinch. No. Turn it so more this way. Welcome to the show. Yeah. More. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Right there. The water, priest. The water. It's real finicky, so Salaki. We're going to work on that in a second. If you ever read them, no sweat. If you ever read them scriptures, you know that Bible is talking to the children of Israel, the nation of Israel, oh house of Israel, Judah and Israel. That's all you hear throughout the Bible. You understand? Because the Lord is talking to the same set of people throughout the whole book. You understand? Go ahead, Shapat.
Yeah, I've been taught to even look when a Christian says a particular scripture and they try to make their point. All I have to do is say, hold on, and read a little further up or a little further down, and it lets you know this is talking to an Israelite.
Exactly. It's context. And anybody that graduated high school can understand you need context to understand whatever it is you're reading. You understand? You need context. Even when they show those videos on Facebook of how these oppressors and the police are beating up black people and harassing and oppressing black and Hispanic people, what is the main thing that the oppressors say in the comments? If anybody's ever been in the comment section of those videos, whenever white people see a video of their people and the police abusing and oppressing blacks and Hispanics, they always say a particular phrase. Shapat,
Shouldn't resist.
they always say that, but it's one thing that they always say in the video. What anybody know? Anybody happen to know? And you have to be all over social media, and I like to go to the comment section. You know, a lot of people use social media to socialize when that's not what we use social media for in the UPK. It's strictly business, and we might crack a joke here, too, or there, but we use social media to push this truth. So whenever I go and watch these videos, I'm going into the comment section to drop tidbits of the truth in the comment section and to read the general perspective and consensus of the people. You understand? See, Windows 71 said comply. Yep, that's exactly what Officer Shapat said. Stop resisting. What they always say is, we don't have the whole video. We need context. We don't know what happened in the video, but we don't know what happened before they started recording. You might have to, you know, listen to these devils and read a lot of their comments on these videos. I do it all the time to see how they think. And that's one of the things they always say. Because even the devil understands you can't just take something always at face value. You need context. And the Bible is the same way. At face value, you would read the Bible how the oppressor taught us to read the Bible through Christianity, and you'll believe that Eve talked to snakes in the garden. You believe that there was a war in heaven, and Satan was the most beautiful angel, and he took a third of the angels, and they came down to earth and had sex with humans, and they created a alternate race of people. You would believe that Jesus was born to a woman who had sex with a spirit, and he's a half man, half God. If you take the Bible at face value, you understand of how the oppressor has taught us, you will be confused. You need context, and that's why you need the people who wrote the Bible to break it down to you. What do I mean? Meaning Black people wrote the Bible. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans wrote the Bible. And that's why in Genesis, when it says Eve was deceived by a serpent, there's only one race of people that speaks like that, that calls a shiesty, low-down individual a snake. You a snake, man. You a snake, man. You grimy. Black women call no good men, oh, he a dog, girl. He a dog. Black people call snitches or people that tell rats. The same people that speak like that today have always spoken like that. And if you're not getting the Bible broken down from a Black, Hispanic, or Native American man and the I.S.U.P.K, you will never understand it. Ever. Go ahead, Shapat.
No, you make it sound like, what's the dude that wrote all the children's stories? Grimm. But the way he wrote it, they weren't children's stories. But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They make the Bible sound like a fantasy story. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. They turn the Bible into bedtime stories and tall tales and legends. When you think of the Bible, you think of Johnny Appleseed and you know, all the little story time fables that they told us when we were younger, when the Bible is far from that. That is a lie. The Bible is the history of that one set of people that I was mentioning. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you are of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That Bible is talking to you and you only. And not only that, God only loves you. God loves no other race of people except Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. How do you know? How do you know? What's the proof?
Because of the fact that we live on the bottom, we don't get away with the things that other nations get away with.
You know, because he said he'd punish us.
Give me Amos. That's right. Give me Amos 3 and 8.
Come.
I'm gonna show you. Unlike your pastor, you understand, he doesn't allow questions. Your church, when was the last time you was able to ask a question in Sunday service? When was the last time you were able to inquire about what this Bible is saying to your pastor or to whoever you study under? And when was the last time you got an answer from your religious leader? I know if you go to that church, you're not even allowed to raise your goddamn hand unless it's in agreement to the lies that pastor is telling in the church. You understand? This place is where you come to learn about this Bible. That's why we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is a school. You understand? And in my mind, this is a damn university, because the knowledge that comes out of here rivals and supersedes the information that comes out of Ivy League colleges and universities. You understand? Right? Read what you got, brother.
Amos 3 and 8.
Yep, if you could.
Come. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 8. The lion hath roared. Who would not fear? The Lord God hath spoken. Who can but prophesy? Verse 9. Publishing the palaces at Ashdod, and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria.
Right, drop that. Go to verse 2.
Come. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
This is what the Bible is saying. Darnell Wallace, you said, are you saying that one has to be in I.S.U.P.K to actually understand and comprehend the Bible? Darnell Wallace, I don't know if I made it clear enough. That is absolutely what I'm saying. That is absolutely unadulterated what I'm saying. If you are not in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yahanna, you do not have the proper understanding of this Bible. Furthermore, if you know you are an Israelite and you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you know you're an Israelite because of the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
And I can prove it. You know you're an Israelite because of the work these brothers in the I.S.U.P.K have been doing since 1969. You understand? That's how you know you're an Israelite. And that's the truth. Read that again. Tell them where you at, brother.
Come. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
The Bible says, you only have I known out of all the families of the earth. This is the word of God. You talk to a Christian, they will never deny that the Bible is the words of God. You understand? They will never deny that. You ask a Christian, do you believe this Bible is the word of God? Hell, you got Christian pastors that do a whole skit before they preach. This is my Bible. It's the infallible word of God. I am what it says I am. You understand? And all that garbage. Christians will not disagree that the Bible are the words of God. But the problem is they never go and find out what God has to say in this Bible when it comes to anything involving anything. Go ahead, Shapat.
It's like I have my own question, but there's a question in the chat.
Let's get it.
Come. Darnell Wallace, come. And would you say Sakari has the proper understanding? Asking for edification purposes.
Darnell Wallace, is Sakari in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General Yahanna? And it's not to be funny, Darnell Wallace, but I mean, I don't want no confusion to be there. Like, this is the thing. And this is how you know this is the truth, because everybody else shies away from saying this. Everybody else thinks that we all can have a little bit of the truth, and if we come together, we'll have the full truth. That's not ever how it worked in the Bible. The people who didn't follow Moses, did they have the truth? The people who didn't follow Christ, did they have the truth? John the Baptist didn't even have the truth. John the Baptist was not in the truth. The people who rose up against Moses when they left Egypt did not have the truth. The Lord always chose one man, and through that one man, you fall. If you don't fall underneath that one man, you don't have the truth. Sakari does not have the proper understanding. Sakari is a breakoff of a break-off of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. If you don't believe me, just ask around. Just ask around in the history of Sakari and who started it, and then who did he learn from, and then what organization he was in. Sakari specifically means in the Bible daggermen. You understand? Daggermen. And that organization named their group after the zealots who were assassinating Sadducees and Pharisees. And then when the Romans drove them to the mountain, they killed themselves instead of fighting the battle. That's what Sakari means, daggermen. You understand, if you didn't know. And that's who they chose to name their group after. Men who killed themselves instead of fighting and dying like valiant men of old. Name any prophet of old who ever killed themselves. None. But you have an entire Israelite group named after the historical brothers who were not in the truth, and they were fighting. You understand? They were what they call it, guerrilla warfare. And when the Romans had them stuck on the top, I forgot the name of the mountain. They had them stuck on top of the mountain, and the Romans were getting ready to take siege of their last stronghold. Before the Romans could even get there, they all killed themselves. You understand? That's the legacy of Sakari. Break-offs and cowards. You understand? And this, it's just what it is. And this is not to slight anybody. I'm just telling you just straight up what it is, brother. These brothers don't have the truth. You understand? You got to go ahead and like that, brother. Sure. Them brothers don't have the truth, and they learn from the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Now, the Bible in Amos 3:2 says, "You have I known out of all the families of the earth." This is what you fail to realize if you are in that Christian church. This is what you fail to realize when we say God loves a specific set of people. You cannot choose to be an Israelite. You understand? You cannot choose or be converted or be a spiritual Israelite. It does not work like that. Being an Israelite is not a religion. Being an Israelite is not like the Christian church or not like Muslims. You got white Muslims in prison. You know that? With all that, Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, you got white Muslims praying with black people in Islam. You got all races of Christians, all races of Muslims, all races of all religions. Hell, Tina Turner was a goddamn Buddhist when that's the religion of the damn Asians. You know what I'm saying? You have all races of all religions because the water priest, because those religions teach that you can be of that religion. Here's the problem. The Bible this is the problem with your understanding. The Bible has nothing to do with any religion. Christianity and the Bible are two separate entities. Go ahead, Shapat.
Without learning, all religions basically are the same. They all say that God loves everybody and everybody's equal, where the Lord didn't say that, and in no place in the earth is anybody equal.
Exactly. And that's the problem. Because when you go look at the history of all these religions, they were all started to mimic the culture of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and the Bible. Islam was started because Muhammad wanted to be like the black men of old who followed the Bible. You understand? Christianity was started because the oppressor wanted to fuse his paganism with our culture. All religions have took bits and pieces of our records and ran with it. And this shouldn't be hard to believe, because what do all races of people do today when they come around black people? Shabbat.
They devour us and copy us.
They devour us, then they copy us. Every race of people today comes into black neighborhoods and they make money off the backs of black people. Right now, if you were to type up the greatest breakdance crew in the world, anybody know who would pop up?
The Philippines.
Some Asians, Jabberwockies, or whatever. You understand? You understand, breakdance, where breakdancing started, right? Like, feel that for a second. If you type in right now in Google, the greatest breakdancers, a bunch of Asian men, you understand, in Adidas sweatsuits and white masks are going to pop up. When breakdancing was a culture, and a lot of people don't know this history, breakdancing didn't start in New York. The culture attached to hip hop started in New York. Brother, black people were breakdancing in the goddamn 1920s. I seen that video and it blew my mind, brother. They was breakdancing to damn jazz and swing music. Literally, if you put a side-by-side picture of the same thing, brother, we have always been the exact same people. And guess what? The nations have always copied us and always took what they like from our culture and then run with it and claim it. Every nation has always done that. You type in right now, the greatest rapper alive. Whose name gonna pop up? Shapak? Freaking Marshall Mathers. A white boy from the trailer parks of Detroit. The greatest rapper alive? You mean over Rakim? You mean over Big Daddy Kane? Over Biggie? Over Tupac? The greatest rapper alive is a white boy, and their culture started by blacks and Hispanics. You see the problem here? It's the same reoccurring theme. Go ahead, brother.
It's crazy because content to me, when you rapping, is a very big thing to me. And he always rapped about some garbage, like killing his mother and his daughter and all that.
This is why I love bringing Eminem up, because he proves that we are not the same people. I don't care how good y'all may think he can rap. Listen to what the hell he's talking about. This man is talking about psychopathic Ted Bundy, American Psycho things, content in his rap, and y'all think it's fire. Meanwhile, you understand, black people were rapping about our struggles and what we were going through and having a good time and partying, but he rapping about killing his mother, raping, murdering, drugs. That's who the oppressor always has been. It's a reason why the oppressor has named him the greatest rapper alive. Our culture has always been hijacked and stolen by every other race of people, and that is no exception when it comes to these religions. Who do you think the East Indians got the whole concept of reincarnation from? The Bible. The East Indians, they say you can be reincarnated when you die. You're going to be, depending on how you lived your life, you'll be reincarnated as this or that. If you lived a life that was bad, you'll be reincarnated as a cockroach. You understand? And everybody's just going to smash you and kill your family members. If you lived a life that's good, you'll be reincarnated as a bird that can fly away from danger. You understand? That's garbage. They stole the concept of reincarnation from the Bible. And then just like when heathens grab anything that we do, they put their stank on it and run with it. Go ahead.
It's a good comment in the section.
Go ahead. Feliciano. Sheo Feliciano. Mm-hmm.
Shalom, Yahanna, Shem Yahanna, Hold up. It's my bad.
No sweat.
It scrolled up more. But he had a comment about the Asians. See window 71.
Mm-hmm.
The Asians are taking over the lowrider culture, posing as our Latino brother.
How could I forget? The water. The Asians right now, brother. This is how you know anybody that wants to deny our Hispanic and Native American brothers. Brother, do you know right now in the Philippines and in Thailand and in those stinking Asian countries, you have Asians literally dressing how our brothers in California and Texas and the whole lowrider culture. What's up, Vato? What's up, Holmes? All that. You understand? You got Asians getting the tattoos like our Hispanic brothers, even though tattoos are not Israelite culture. But anything that we do, we make it fly. And black people turn tattoos from being dirty rock and roll white boy trash to now somehow it's fly when it's a sin. But whenever we grab something, we make it cool. And so, the Hispanic brothers, they had their face tatted and their necks tatted with the hair and the lokes, the shades and the plaid shirts buttoned up all to the top. You understand? And crip walking and what's up, Holmes? And then the Hispanic sisters with the makeup and all that. You got Asians right now dressing just like that, posing as our Hispanic brothers because we are Israel and everybody wants to do what we do. Go ahead, Shapak. So, if I may, if you're just tuning in, make sure you like and share the stream. You understand? If you're just tuning in, make sure you like and share the stream. Go ahead, Shapak. Salaki.
I had a question. What's a breakdown for anybody who's, for one, thinking the tribe of Dan is the 13th tribe?
Absolutely. We're going to get that breakdown in just a second. D-Boy Reese. Let me read that. Scroll up. D-Boy Reese always said that about Eminem. He don't talk about no substance black people can relate to. Absolutely. And we should never expect him to talk about anything we can relate to because he's not us. But it's something in us that wants to accept all of the people. This is the thing. The Bible, the God of the Bible, he's not like us. You understand? We're weak. He's not weak. The God of the Bible is a father, and a father understands that if his children go to the playground, his children are going to be bullied if they try to play with the other kids. So as a good father, you separate your children from everybody else. If you know your children are prone to be taken advantage of, as a good parent, what would you do? You would give your children rules to make them stronger. And part of those rules of making them stronger is to separate yourself. You got a child that's always being bullied and he getting his lunch money taken. You're going to teach him how to not go around that person. And if he does go around that person, how to be wise around that person. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is our Father giving us rules and regulations on how to be strong as a people. And part of that is not joining ourselves to everybody else who takes advantage of us. Read it where you at again from the top, Baba Bashar. Or what is it? Marshall is straight trash and always have been. I always said that. He's always been garbage. I've never been impressed. You understand? He's a culture vulture, just like Justin Timberlake and Robin Thicke and Elvis and all the long line of oppressors and colonizers who've always stolen what we've done. Read what you got, brother.
Oh, come. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
This is what the Bible says. God says, you only have I known out of all the families of the earth. The Bible, unlike the oppressor, doesn't list people by race. You understand? Meaning the whole concept of if you have melanin, we're the same people, that does not exist in the Bible. Just because people have dark skin doesn't make them the same people. You understand? The Bible lists us through bloodlines. And your bloodline is your what? Your family. That's why in the black community, people like, oh yeah, we blood. That's my blood right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's your real brother? Yeah, that's your blood brother? No, that's my play brother. That's your blood cousin? Yeah, that's my play cousin. That's my blood cousin. Blood is what makes you family. And this is what you don't realize as an evil bastard who hates your own people. The people that you want to hate are your family. Those niggas on the corner that you can't stand, and those sisters that you think is just so ghetto, and those Hispanics and Native Americans that you think that are not part of us, they are our blood, man. They are our blood, and that makes them our family. The same way the Asians have this, can trace their lineage back through the same bloodline, which makes them family. The same way the so-called white man can trace his lineage back to the same forefathers. They share the same blood. That makes them family. That's how the Lord classifies people, not by how they look, but through their bloodline. And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans share the same bloodline as Christ, as David, as Solomon, as Moses, as Nehemiah, as Ezra, as Joshua, as Elisha, as Peter, as John. You understand? Hell, as Judas too. You understand? We share the same bloodline of all these men of old in the Bible, because we are the descendants of these people in the Bible. That's who we are. And the Lord calls us a family. And he said, our family, out of all the other families, out of the Arab family, out of the Asian family, out of the African family, out of the white man's family, you understand? Our family is the only family that the Lord has known. You understand? Meaning the Lord only knows us. The Lord only loves us. Keep reading, brother.
Come. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. The word iniquity means a sin, a transgression, a wrongdoing. That's what the word iniquity means. And the Lord is saying, just like any good father, any parent, because you're my children, you're going to get punished. when you do what everybody else does. Now, if you don't have kids, this may be a foreign concept. Just take yourself back to when you were younger. If you don't have kids, you understand. If you do have kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You take your kids to the park. You understand, and you tell your kids, "I don't want you cussing." You go to the park with your kids, and you hear them other kids at the park cussing. You understand, and slapping each other and all that, and you tell your kids before you even get out in the park. Or better, here's a better one. When y'all go to the store, this one y'all might we all can relate to. You go to the store, if you had a black or Hispanic parent, what they tell you before you go into the store? About 3 things they told you.
You better not touch nothing.
Don't touch nothing. What else?
You better be quiet.
Be quiet, and
You better not embarrass me.
don't ask for nothing. Don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing. And don't embarrass me in this store. You understand? Now, those kids you can go in the store with your kids, and your kids can play with other kids. And those kids act up. You're not about to whoop the little white kids that's touching all the food and knocking stuff over. Who are you going to grab and punish? The children that you know, the children that belong to you, that you love. That's what's happening to the Black, Hispanic, Native American community. The Lord is punishing us because we are, in fact, his children. We're the ones that he knows and loves. The white man can be gay and a murderer, and the Lord not punishing him for it yet. That's what Judgment Day is for these races to get their judgment. But right now, the Lord looking at them like, those not my children. I need y'all to do right. Go ahead, Shapar.
When my mother used to tell me don't touch that, and I knew I couldn't ask, but I used to try to get slick as we was passing, like, look, Mom.
Yeah. Like, look at that. Hey, look at that. It's this and that. D-Boy Reed said, don't touch nothing. Yep. See Windows 71, don't ask for nothing. Yep. Kanar said, you ain't getting nothing. See? Now, let me show you how universal this knowledge is. This is not in the Bible, what I just asked. But every Black person was able to answer what I was talking about and knew what I was talking about. That's why it's so important that you have context to the Bible, because if you ask the oppressor something else, if you ask the oppressor the same question, they're going to give you different answers because they don't live the same experiences as us. And that's why when they break down the Bible, you understand, and through Christianity, you get a completely different and wrong understanding of what this Bible means, because it was never written by them and it wasn't never intended for them. You understand? That example I just gave is proof how we all are the same people and that we all need context to what this is saying, because we live the same experiences. The Lord is saying, you have I known out of all the families of the earth, and because of your sins, therefore I will punish you. Black on black crime is punishment. Abortion, our children dying in the abortion clinics is punishment. Us wondering what bill is going to get paid and not getting paid is punishment. Us watching our families have to be broken and us being the shame and being laughed at on all the TV shows is punishment. Our children growing up being molested is punishment, man. The conditions that exist in our communities are punishment from the Lord because we refuse to do what he says. And here's the thing. Just like any parent, a parent doesn't give rules to their children just to be an a-hole like white kids think. White kids think that their parents are just being a-holes. You're ruining my life, Mom. You're such a douchebag. You're a-hole. Nah. You understand? Good parents give their children rules. Why?
To stop your transgression, like, the Lord gives a homosexual AIDS. So he'll stop being a homosexual. But
why? Okay, that's true. That's the punishment side. But why would the Lord tell his children? Why would the Lord tell his son, don't sleep with another boy? To protect him. That's the purpose of rules that the Lord has gave us. And we become so rebellious, following after the oppressor, that we look at these rules and laws in the Bible as hindering our life. You understand? As the reason why we can't get ahead. Perfect example. You tell a woman, sis, a man can have more than one woman. And what does a woman say? Well, what does a whore say? Better yet. Go ahead.
Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
There you go. Well, can a woman have more than one man? Why would you want more than one man? You've been doing it like that your whole life, and look at how terrible your life is. Why are you asking when you've been doing it that way? You asking trying to be a smart aleck when you've always had more than one man and your life has always been in shambles. Maybe for once we should try it a different way. But when you tell a sister she should dress modest, she can only have one man, what does she think? You trying to control her life. You stopping her from living her best life. You just want to control her. Y'all just want y'all women barefoot or pregnant. Let's just say that's the truth. What's wrong with barefoot and pregnant? Like, goddamn, you living in hell. You understand? Barefoot and pregnant sounds like a vacation based off of what sisters is going through now. But you follow after the oppressor and you think that God's laws that protects us is to harm us. You understand? And the Bible speaks of that. The Bible speaks of that very thing. Keep reading where you at, I.S.U.P.K.
Come. Verse 3.
So like, drop that. Get me. Isaiah 5:20. If you're just tuning in, make sure you like and share the stream. Or what he said, smackings of the face comes along with asking for things. Damn, brother. You sound like you need some therapy, priest. He said, smackings of the face come along with asking for things. Good night, boy. Isaiah 5:20. Now, I'll mess with you, priest. Now, listen, you're right. You're absolutely right. You understand? And other kids didn't get smacked. All the kids could ask for all the things that they wanted and touch all the things they wanted, but you knew you couldn't. And as a child, you might think that your parents hate you. You understand? Because you're a child, and a child is ignorant. A child knows nothing. So as a child, rules to them means you hate them and you don't like them. And whoopings to them means, oh, they hate me and they want me to die. When you get older, you realize, wow, my parents protected me from so much and giving me them rules. How many people grew up in a strict household? If you grew up in a strict household, you grew up to realize, like, man, I look how you compare your life to those people you grew up with, and you're like, man, I didn't go through the same mess that them other cats went through because my parents were strict. And for those of us who didn't grow up in strict households, what's something that you always say? Man, I wish my mama or my daddy would have told me about this. I wish they would have not let me do this. I wish they would have not let me destroy my life the way I did. Everybody always says that. You understand? Because really, we are children that need a father. And that father is the heavenly father, the most high of the Bible. Go ahead, priest.
Man, I got a quick preset for what you were just saying about the rules.
Yep, absolutely. D-boy reset for structure. Absolutely for structure. And with structure comes protection, right? Go ahead, read what you got.
Oh, God. The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
This is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous, meaning it's not hard to follow what the Lord told us to do. It's not hard to be obedient. Think back to when you were a child. It's not hard to do what your parents says. You just have to be a rebellious bastard to not do it. It's not hard to wake up and make up your bed. The reason why you don't do it is because what you want overrides what your parent wants. And that's when there will always be conflict. You understand? Because what you want means more to you than what the person who brought you in this goddamn world wants. When it's the right thing, of course. Any more on that?
Sir, got a question in the chat.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Darnell Wallace, is Hebrew a bloodline? When Abraham was called Abram, he was identified as the Hebrew.
No, go ahead.
I was in Genesis 14 and 13.
You can read where you at, and then we're gonna go to the Darnell Wallace question. That's a good question, brother. Let's read Isaiah 5:20 first.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Woe to them. You check that out real quick, Bible Spot. Woe to them that call good evil and evil good. This is who we've become in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, following after these Christian pastors, the Catholic priests, and the Muslim imams. The ideologies and religions that they teach are the philosophies of people that oppress us. You think because we say you think because we just hate the white man when we say the white man's a devil. Listen, if the Africans were ruling over us, we would say the exact same thing about the Africans. If the Arabs were ruling over us, we would say the exact same thing about the Arabs. It's vice versa with the Asians, because every race of people do the exact same thing when they rule over us. Read what you got again. Shalom, sir. No, sir. He just want to check, sir. It's
The book
catch
of
across the street.
Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 1.
Let's sweat, sir.
Woe
Shalom.
unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Woe to them that call evil good and good evil. That's your Christian pastor. That's your Christian pastor, your religious leaders. That's you. That is you. Because instead of looking at this Bible as a tool, you understand, as the Constitution, as the structure that we need to build our people and to better our lives, you look at it as the white man's book. Here's how you know the Bible isn't the white man's book. Because if it was the white man's book, you would do everything it said. That's how you know the Bible is not a white man's book. If the Bible was the white man's book, you would do it. You would do exactly what it says. You would go to every Passover. You would pay your effing tithes. You would know sex is marriage, and you would only sleep with the women of your race, and you would not murder. You wouldn't steal. You wouldn't molest children. You wouldn't rape. You wouldn't be disgusting. You wouldn't lie. You wouldn't do anything that the Bible told you not to do if it was the white man's book. But because it's not the white man's book, you don't do what the Bible says. See the problem with that? You understand? The same way you celebrate every holiday. Every holiday, every birthday you have, you celebrate every holiday. Every culture, anything of the white man's culture, every 4 years he tell you to vote, you go vote like a dummy when you know it does nothing. If the Bible was the white man's book, you would do what it says. But here's the thing, you know in spirit, this is not the white man's book. You just say that as an excuse so you don't have to follow it. This book ain't got nothing to do with the white man. This ain't his book. This book is our book. And it gives us rules to protect us and to make us strong as a people. But you think it's bad. You think the good that's found in this book is evil. And the Bible says, woe to you that believes that. Destruction to anyone that thinks this Bible does not benefit you, does not benefit your family, does not benefit your people. Destruction to you if you think what we're saying in the I.S.U.P.K is evil. Destruction to you if you hate to hear that God loves one set of people. Destruction to you if you don't believe the white man is the devil. Destruction to you if you believe anything other than what the priests and prophets are teaching you in the I.S.U.P.K. Because anything outside of here is evil being spoken as good. You look at what we say is evil. Well, what's evil about telling a black man if he sleeps with a black woman, he can't throw her away? As a black woman, how could you hate to hear that when all your life your heart has been broken and you've been trampled on from brothers sleeping with you and throwing you the hell away, ghosting you, not even returning your calls? Brothers, how could you hate to hear that a woman is not allowed to abort that baby when sisters have been murdering babies, murdering your children without your consent? Some brothers will have about double the amount of kids that they will have now if it weren't for abortions. And some brothers are wicked enough to tell women to go do it. And some brothers actually want them kids and had no say-so in the matter. Some of us brothers actually wanted those children and had to suffer our seed, our legacy, our lineage being murdered because of what she wanted. How can you be mad when we say abortion is against God? How can you hate that? Because you call good evil and you call evil good. And that's why America is going to be destroyed by the hands of God, because this place is built on evil and calling it good. America was built on oppressing us, and to them, it's good. When that Constitution was written, anybody ever heard of the phrase life, liberty, and what's the last one? Anybody know? Every man has inalienable rights. Life, liberty, and what? Anybody knows the last thing? The pursuit of happiness. That's what it says now. Before it said that, it said life, liberty, and property. Guess what you don't realize, black man? You fail under that caveat of property. Meaning the white man said it was his God-given right to have you as property. Woe to them that calls evil good and good evil. And those are people whose religion you follow today. You follow their religion today. You think it's good when it's evil. You go to that church and you thinking you getting a blessing. You are getting a blessing, all right, from Satan. You're getting a blessing from Satan. You're being deceived in that church. Where we at? That's the end of that, brother.
Nah, there was more on it.
If you could, keep reading, Mother Shaw.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light.
That put darkness for light. That's America. And with America, America was built on what? How was America built?
Off the blood of Native Americans and the sweat and blood of blacks
and Hispanics. America was built through this ideology. And this ideology is what caused the bloodshed of our people. Feel that for a second. When you think you're worshiping God and you think you could be a Christian, you are literally worshiping the ideology that justified these oppressors shedding our blood to establish this nation. Christianity. America was not built on anything other than Christianity. Those founding fathers were Christians. Everybody like to say they were Masons. All that is Christianity. That's what you understand. Being a Mason is being a Christian. It's all the same thing. This is who they worship. He's like, well, the Masons, they worship the pyramids, nigga. This is Horus. You understand? This is all this is. This is the same thing recycled all over and over and over. This is Hercules. This is Zeus. This is Jupiter. This is Horus. This is Ra. This is Nimrod. You understand? This is all the religions just recycled. And just like of days of old, every race of people, every culture has used their religion to oppress God's people. It's just right now, it's Christianity and the oppressor. At one point, it was the Arabs and Islam. You go read for you black Muslims out there, and alhamdulillah, I seen a brother yesterday when I was able to go take a bag of trash to the dumpster. And as I was going to take the trash to the dumpster, I seen a brother standing not too far from the dumpster. And he had on the kufi, and he had something on the ground. I couldn't see it until I walked up, and then I realized what he was doing. And as I'm walking up, I seen the brother like this. I don't know how he had his arms. I don't know how he had some garbage like this. And I seen him do this. His eyes were closed, and I seen him do this. He went back here, and I'm like, what the hell is this? His eyes was closed. I'm like, what the hell is this nigga doing outside by the dumpster with this rug on the ground? This brother was praying. He was devout, praying. And I seen him, and I said, if only we could have that zeal for the things that are actually good. If only we could have that zeal for the light and not for the darkness. Brother, how much we would rule this place. It was so fascinating, but it pissed me off at the same time. So like, this brother is really out here on his own accord. Nobody's forcing him. He went and found him somewhere that was peaceful and quiet and laid his little rug down, and he was praying, and he was sincere. He was absolutely sincere in what he was doing. And I said, boy, the oppressor ran a number on our people. Because if he had that zeal for the things of good and not evil, we would be a different people. You understand? Well, a lot of people don't know the history of the Arabs and how they used to do terrible things to our people in the name of Allah, through Islam. How they used to cut off the testicles or the rod of black men and put them in charge of their harems. You understand? A harem is it's like a prostitution ring, damn near, where they got all their women. You understand? And they would do that because they knew if you cut off the genitals of a man, he will have no desire, you understand, to have sex. He won't touch your women. And that's what they used to do to black men. Then they would take black women and make them their whores. not wives. They would take black women and make them their whores. And you know what's sad? A lot of you freak nasty sisters is going to Abu Dhabi and Dubai to this day to go do all types of nasty things with some disgusting Arab for a little bag. What y'all say, y'all, you going to get that coin, you chasing the bag, and you doing all type of nasty things and being some Arab slave wench all over again. Every race of people has ruled over us through their religion. The Bible speaks against all these religions for that very reason. You understand? Where we at? That's the end of that one. If you could drop that. Let's go to Genesis 14 and 13, and then we're going to get you a question. You understand? This is 14 and 13. Darnell Wallace said, is Hebrew a bloodline? When Abraham was called Abram, he was identified as the Hebrew. Let's go to it. Let's pull it up. You understand? And it's good we get this lineage because, once again, tracing back this lineage is proof of what the scripture we just read when it says, out of all the families of the earth, we're the only one the Lord has known. You can trace our bloodline all the way back to Abraham. And I know a lot of Arabs, they love to quote that. Like, well, we come from Abraham. Abraham, like you do come from Abraham. Abraham had a son named Ishmael, and the Bible talks about how the Lord did not choose Ishmael. The Lord chose Abraham's other son, Isaac. You understand? So we're not disputing that you came from Abraham, but you come from a separate bloodline now. You understand? Read what you got.
Oh, come.
No sweat.
The book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram, the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of I.S.U.P.K and brother of Lineage. And these were confederate with Abram.
Mm-hmm. So Abraham, first of all, being Hebrew is not a bloodline. Hebrew is the language that the Israelites speak. You understand? And if you study linguistics, you'd be so surprised how every language has stolen from the Hebrew. I'll just give you something. I'll give you a couple quick examples. Anybody know what the Hebrew word for blood is? For time's sake, the Hebrew word for blood is dam, D-A-M. You understand? Dam. In Swahili, you know what the word for blood is? Damu, spelled D-A-M-U. You understand? Shalom in Hebrew means what? Peace. What is peace in the Arabic? Mm-hmm.
Salam.
Salam. You understand? Like, if you didn't know, you would think that the Bible is copying everybody else. When in all actuality, once again, remember, this is our customs, our culture, our book. Do black people copy anybody else? And I'm not talking about in our ignorance. I'm talking about the trendsetters. Who sets the trends all over the face of the earth? Black people. So if you just look at life today, it was the same back then. Everybody speaks the slang of niggas and Hispanics. You understand? Right now in China, you got Chinese boys call each other's ops. What the hell an Asian boy know about a goddamn op? You understand? And right now in Africa and Zimbabwe, they talking about on four of them. And we got drill music because the whole world mimics and copies what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans do. And it's no exception when it comes to our language. You understand? It's like, go ahead, sir. Salaki, I just brought it out earlier. So even the Captain Oz said the Japanese got the B-boys. You would think that the Asians started that culture the way they have took it and ran with it when it was started by us. Go ahead, Shapak.
I'm gonna say Arabic, they stole a lot.
Oh, Arabic definitely stole a lot.
Like we say "ak" for brother,
right?
They say "aki."
They say "aki."
The word "and" is "wa,"
right?
Both are "wa," and then "barak."
Right, blessed. You understand? Barak means blessed, and it means the same thing in Arabic. Arabic, and this is why, because Muhammad was so infatuated with the Israelites. And you go read the history of Islam, it tells you that Muhammad was so infatuated with the Israelites and Israelite culture. You understand? And the Hebrew is the base language. All languages come from Hebrew. Hebrew is the base language. You understand? Hebrew is our language. Being an Israelite is a bloodline. You understand? That's our bloodline. Now, you asked, is Hebrew a bloodline? No, Hebrew is not the bloodline. It's the language. You understand? Right. Pagabawa said they stole the mitri and made it a turban. You look at the Arabs and you look at that big, nasty Aladdin Jafar turban they be wearing, and they stole that from brothers, black men wearing the mitri and tying it a certain way. And you fake Israelites, you love to say we don't know the truth because we got our head covered. You idiot. If you ever tied a goddamn mitri like the Bible says, you would know that there's an opening right here in the top. But you don't read the Bible and you don't understand the Bible. You don't understand Israelite culture because you're too busy trying to be like the white man. You understand? You purple sodomites look just like the Roman legion marching up and down black communities. Ain't fixed nothing. But you want to march and prance and sashay all in the streets to show everybody all your numbers. But when them shots rang out, none of them numbers meant nothing. Bunch of cowards. Bunch of felines. That's what you are. Where we at, man? I'm about to get off topic and get off subject. So the brother, he asks, is Hebrew bloodline? No. Was Abraham called? When Abraham was called Abram, he's identified as the Hebrew. Being called the Hebrew is just the same way you would call somebody by the language they speak. Give an example of how you see that today. You ever heard somebody say, I'm Spanish? Like, oh, he's Spanish. Where's the country named Spanish? There is no country called Spanish, but people call themselves Spanish because of the language they speak. Or somebody from England says, I'm English. Oh, yes, me and my English self. Because of the language they speak. When the country is England, it's always been custom of people to call somebody by the language they speak. You understand? Abraham, even though he preceded Israel, because if you read the lineage, Abraham had Isaac, Isaac had Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, who had the 12 tribes. He still is the forefather. You understand? Because we come from Abraham. The Lord said he will make Abraham a father of many people. You understand? Of many people. And the Arabs come from Abraham. Who else come from Abraham? Esau come from Abraham. You understand? You got a lot of people, different peoples that come from Abraham, but it doesn't make us the same people. Where we at? Spot, you could check the beginning of the chat. I think somebody else had another question, and then we're gonna get into your breakdown. If you're just tuning in, make sure you like and share the stream, man. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're just tuning in, if you got any questions, type them in the chat. Also, too, make sure if you ain't coming out, man, you might want to try to make it out there. Cocoa Beach, April 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. You know what I'm saying? You might want to make it out there. It's gonna be lit. The Lord's annual Passover. The I.S.U.P.K hosting the Lord's annual Passover in Cocoa Beach, Florida. It's gonna be off the chain as normal. You might want to try to make it out there as much as you can. I don't know. I'll be out there. Ooh-wee.
The only thing I see that possibly be a question, another one from Donnell Wallace. My uncle is a Moor. He runs with a faction called USAR. They call themselves Moabites from the tribe of Judah. Is this correct? Also, I saw in the Quran that it says the children of God are Israelites.
Okay, let's dissect that. Let's go to the quickest thing first. You said you read in the Quran where it says the children of God are Israelites. You're absolutely right. You understand? Even the stinking Quran tells you that God's children are Israelites. You understand? What more do you want? Now, you asked Let's get that part again about the Moabites. He said, let me try to find it. He runs with a faction called USAR. They call themselves Moabites from the tribe of Judah. Is this correct? It is absolutely not correct. You can't be a Moabite and from the tribe of Judah, and then I'll show you why. This is going to go into the Dan breakdown because this goes into the tribes. You understand? If you could, Shapat, get me Genesis 49 and 28.
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 49. You said 28.
Yep.
Come. Verse 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now start right there, Slacky. We'll get a couple of them. Get me let's get Genesis 35. 35 and So like you give me 1 second. Oh, come on. All right. Give me 35 and 23.
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 35. 23. Verse 23. And the children of Shabal were these.
35 and 23.
You said 20. Oh, so like 36 and 23.
No sweat.
Here we go. The book of Genesis, chapter 35, verse 23.
Start at 22.
Verse 22. Come. And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12.
Now this is what just for the breakdown of who's Israel. Let's find out who's Israel. Go up to verse 20, verse 10. Salakia.
Okay.
Let's find out who was even Israel.
The book of Genesis, chapter 35, verse 10. And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel.
Now we're reading about how the Lord changed the name of Jacob to Israel. And we witnessed this in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? When you come in here, you are no longer called by what you were called in the world. You are now given the name the Lord wants you to be called by. You understand? That is what's happening here. The Lord blessed Jacob by giving him this name. You understand? And the Lord called him Israel. Israel in the Hebrew means what?
Yasha'Allah, Prince of the Power.
Right. That was the Lord's blessing to Jacob. Israel in Hebrew is Yasha'Allah, and Yasha'Allah means Prince of the Power. Princess of the Power or Son of God. You understand? Now you see how that means Son of God, but we don't read about how Jacob was born from a woman who had sex with God, but yet Jacob was a son of God. You see how you need the priests and prophets to break down what this Bible means, black men, because the white man will read Son of God, and his carnal, stupid mind, he will believe that this comes from God's loins. This comes from God's testicles. You understand? God had sex with Mary. Oh, he's son of God. No, dumb. Meaning the Lord chose him, accepted him to be his people. Go ahead.
It's like it just proves how they don't know the spirit, because the Lord is not the author of confusion. The Lord said you can't commit adultery. So if he took a woman who was betrothed to Joseph,
Right,
which was married, and had impregnated her with with so-called spirit,
right,
Holy Spirit semen or whatever,
right.
then that would be adultery.
Yep, sure would, because that woman belonged to somebody else. That's what the word betrothed means, boys and girls. If you believe that God had sex with Mary, then you now have to admit that God committed adultery, because Mary was betrothed to Joseph, which means she was promised or engaged to Joseph. That was his woman. But of course, you don't care about none of this because it doesn't fit what you want to believe, so you can care less. Anyways, the Lord blessed Jacob, and he called him by Israel. He called him by Son of God, Prince of the Power. Now let's go back down to verse. Which verse I'll tell you to go to?
22, sir.
Start at 22. The water.
Book of Genesis, chapter 35, verse 22. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12.
Now, just to let everybody know, that's a disgusting, terrible sin that Reuben did. And you're going to read that how, because Reuben did this, he didn't receive what the firstborn son receives, which is what? According to the inheritance, the birthright. According to Israelite culture, the firstborn son is the one who receives what the father has. Reuben didn't receive what Israel had, his father had, because of this disgusting, heinous sin he did. Reuben slept with his father's rib, not his own mother. Remember, Jacob had the 12 tribes of Israel were made by Jacob having how many women?
Oh, stop that.
Mm-hmm.
4.
4 women, and I'll prove it to you right here. For you Christians that think multiple wives is wrong, you're here today because it's not wrong. It happened, and it still happens, and it's absolutely a man's God-given right to have more than one woman. And here's the thing. This is black culture. We may not do it the right way to this day, but best believe this is black culture. Everybody always say, yeah, well, how many siblings you got that your father didn't have from different women? Like, oh yeah, that's my half brother, because we got the same daddy, but we got different moms. Brother, that is black culture. Nobody does that more than black people. You understand? That's right, priest. 4. You understand? Nobody knows that life more than black people. Hell, I got siblings, you understand, that we got the same father, but we got different mothers. And in the world, they will try to tell you that that's wrong. Your daddy was a Rolling Stone. Your daddy was this and that. When, nigga, my daddy was an Israelite man doing what Israelite men have always done, which is their God-given right to have more than one woman. Now, here's the problem. Because we follow the white man, we don't keep those women. And so now we have broken families where, according to the Bible, there is no such thing as baby mamas. Well, brother has kids with 3 different women. Those are his 3 wives, and those are his 3 families. You understand? And we're going to read about how this was always done. This was done here, right? So let's keep reading. Jacob these are the 12 sons of Israel. This is where the 12 tribes come from. Go ahead, read.
Verse 23. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun.
Right. So Leah, which is one of Jacob's wives, he had Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. So he had 6 children with this sister. You understand? And right here, you reading that Judah came from Israel. Remember that now. Just keep in mind, it's the reason why we go on here, because it's going to tie. Once I answer his question, it's going to tie into the Dan breakdown as well. Judah comes from Jacob, his father Israel. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 24. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin.
The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. Right? So we had 6 with Leah. Now you got Joseph and Benjamin. That's 8. All right, let's keep reading.
Come. Verse 25. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid,
no sweat.
Dan and Naphtali.
Right. So the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid. Now remember, these handmaids were who? Who were these handmaids? This is for a lot of you wackos that want to go and take heathen women. Oh, well, you know, in the kingdom, we're gonna have Asian concubines and white women concubines. No, you freak. No, you're not. These handmaids were Israelite sisters. And this is how you know in the kingdom, Oprah is going to be some sister's handmaid. So whatever sister that's in the I.S.U.P.K right now, and she's being loyal to her husband and paying her tithes and being a righteous sister, just know this: Oprah is gonna be your goddamn handmaid. She's gonna be waiting on you hand and foot in your household. And that's what the Bible means, that does not follow the commandments will be the least in the kingdom. Oprah is somebody now. She's somebody in this kingdom. In Christ's kingdom, Oprah is gonna be a sister in the UPK's handmaid. That's what she's going to be. And that's if she's lucky, if she's fortunate. The Lord have mercy on her. She might be less than that, but I'm just showing you what that is. Handmaids, you understand, right? These handmaids were Israelite, not Israelite women, but women of, you understand, of our people. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 26. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher.
So now we was at, it was a 10, Gad and Asher. So that's 12. Gad and Asher. So these are the 12 sons of Jacob. You understand? The 12 sons of Jacob, which equates to the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you correlate to one of these 12 sons, meaning one of these 12 sons is your specific forefather. Jacob is all our forefather as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but then he will be our grandfather, our great grandfather, and then one of these 12 sons will be our grandfather. You understand? And through your father is how you are of this bloodline, which is why you should never hate your father. It don't matter if he was there or not, because of your father is the reason why you are able to say you're Israelite. You should thank him for that alone. If that just alone, you should thank him for that. Thank you, nigga, for having me. Appreciate you. You understand? You're like, well, shoot, I just, he might be like, well, nigga, I just did what I do. Like, it don't matter. You did it. You understand? And I'm here. You understand? Thank your goddamn father, man. Don't let this world make you hate your father when, if it wasn't for your father, you might not be who you are. You might not be of the 12 tribes. Your mom could have had sex with some filthy white man, and you could have been Jussie Smollett, thinking he was black, but white. You understand? Right. So you said they say that they are Moabites from the tribe of Judah. Or did he say yeah, Moabites from the tribe of Judah. All right. So now I'm going to show you why that is not accurate. All right, so give me Genesis 19 and 30. 19 and 30.
Come.
Genesis 19 and 30. Darnell Wallace, I don't know if you're still here. It's just to answer your question. You was asking about, you said your uncle's is a Moor in the USAR, and they believe they are Moabites from the tribe of Judah. That can't be possible, and I'll prove to you why. There's a reason why we go into these different scriptures. Go ahead, Shabbat, if you could, Baba Bashar.
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 20.
30.
It's lucky. Verse 30. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave. He and his 2 daughters.
Now, what just happened? What anybody that knows a little bit about the Bible and the history in the Bible, what just took place? It's a major thing in the Bible that just took place right here.
He was a coward.
No, not that. I'm talking about what caused Lot to go into the mountains with his 2 daughters.
The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, which historically were 5 African cities. You understand? For all you Cometians, you Kemet lovers, the Africans are the first recorded homosexuals in history. Feel that for a second. Yikes. They are the first recorded homosexuals in history. Now, of course, we know the white man does everything best, but they're the first recorded homosexuals in history. Go ahead.
Stock, if I made it go even further, one of the first recorded homosexual things was when Ham looked at Noah.
Exactly.
Naked.
When Ham seen his father's nakedness. You understand? Now, for that breakdown, I can't remember if that was referring to a literal nakedness, or is it just because remember how we talk is different. You understand? Like to catch somebody naked is to catch them vulnerable. And remember, Noah was drunk. So I can't remember I had to double check. I can't remember if it was Noah was actually naked and Ham looked and then turned his back, or Noah was just drunk and not presentable. There's a difference. Remember, the nakedness in the Bible is not the same nakedness today. Nakedness in the Bible, like just like in here. In the UPK, a brother's not allowed to be in no goddamn tank top. That's, brother, you naked, man. But in the world, brothers be up here on the basketball court with full-out shirts off. You understand? Walking down the street with the shirt off. And in UPK, you're not even allowed to come in here with a shirt with the sleeves cut off. Like, brother, what the hell is that? What's going on? What's that? Because our standard for nakedness is the standard of the Bible. We've always been a classy people. And this is what you don't understand about our culture, because we've been destroyed and reduced to animals and slaves. So you think nakedness is beauty and art when it's what animals do. Animals are naked. It's only people, you know, those rich white people, what do they do with their animals when they got enough money? They put clothes on them. Because even the rich white people know, you're not an animal to me, you're a person. You're more civilized than an animal. I'm going to put this little cute little sweater on my doggy. I'm going to put these little cute little shoes on the little doggy, because to them it's not an animal. Animals are naked. And because we've been reduced to slaves and animals, we think that it's somehow freeing and liberating and art. It's disgusting and it's savagery. And we learned it from the oppressor. We are people, brother, that didn't even allow to see each other's arms and ankles. And why am I seeing your knees, brother? What's going on? I don't need to see your knees. You understand? That's who we are. So that breakdown when Ham seeing Noah's nakedness, he could have just been like in his undergarments. You understand? I definitely don't believe he was fully naked. Nevertheless, Ham was a disgusting bastard of a son, because he did not do the honorable thing and cover his father's shame. And Africans come from Ham, the dark-skinned races, not the Negroes. You understand? Right, so where we at? Let's keep reading.
Oh, God. The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 3. And verse 31. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come into us after the manner of all the earth.
Right. So now remember, he said the stream is giving echo feedbacks. If you can hear me loud and clear, type of the water. No sweat. If you can hear me loud, and clear to wide without echo, put a 1 in the chat real fast. If it's coming through loud and clear without the echo, put a 1 in the chat so I can know. Because it could have been mine too. I don't know. I might have hit it when I added you to the stream. If you can hear loud and clear, put a 1 in the chat. 1. Good. All right. Okay, no sweat. The water to all y'all too. All right. So now this is what's going on. Lot's 2 daughters are talking amongst each other. Now you got to see it from their standpoint. Lot's 2 daughters just witnessed the Lord destroy the known world to them, Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? The Lord just completely destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah with fire. He destroyed that stinking place because of its homosexuality. And America is coming for you because you allowed sexual deviancy, homosexuality, lesbianism, child molestation, rape, everything disgusting. You allow it, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. The Lord just destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. These two daughters of Lot's, they seen that happen. They seen the destruction. And so in their mind, the world is destroyed. Society, as they know it, is done. You understand? So now they up in this mountain with their father, living in this cave, and they like, ain't no more men, girl. All the men just gone. They gone. And of course, they thinking like, if all the men are gone, how the hell are we going to have sex and have children? Because that's where children come from, sex. For all you the Virgin Mariers out there, they wondering how they going to have children because all the men are gone. So let's find out what they decided to do, because in their mind, all the men were gone because Sodom and Gomorrah was gone. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him.
Stop. Yikes, brother. Well, I remember when I first heard this, in the truth, for some reason in the Christian church, I heard this, but it didn't hit the same way it hit in the truth. This let you know how wicked Christianity is, because I didn't feel disgusted when I heard this in the church. When I heard this in the church, it was just like, it's just what people did back then. Well, nigga, that's disgusting. These girls decided to get their father drunk, their blood father, the man whose seed they come from, and to lay down and have sex with this man. That's what these two girls decided to do. Keep reading.
Come. That we may preserve seed of our father.
That we may preserve seed of our father. Yikes. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 33. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Verse 34.
So she got him. They got him. I don't know what the hell he was drinking. I pray that never comes in here. Whatever they gave him, it must have been old English or E&J. It had to be something, brother, a Cisco or something they don't even make no more, because, brother, whatever they gave him, they didn't even let him know. He didn't even know he was sleeping with his daughter. Oh, boy. Don't ever bring nothing like that around me. They hit him with the Bill Cosby special. They hit him with the Cardi B Bill Cosby special, because that nigga didn't know what was going on. Yikes. Go ahead.
I would put mine on, it was some naughty head.
Some naughty head. Ooh, it had to be. It had to be some mixture with some type of herbs and all type of, I don't know. I don't never want none of that. None of that at all. Right? So this first one went in, the firstborn went in. She got the father drunk, and she had sex with her father. Keep reading.
Verse 34.
Y'all see, I said Mad Dog 2020. No, brother, don't put that on my drink. I've never experienced that on Mad Dog, brother. If anything, I'm more choosy on the Mad Dog. Mad Dog, Wild Irish Rose. Don't put that on my drinks, brother. You understand? That Mad Dog is too wild. It had to be something. I don't know. It had to be something foreign, not Israelite-ish, Babylonish or something. Go ahead, Shapak.
And verse 34. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said to the younger, behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with them, that we may preserve seed of our father. Verse 35. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Verse 36.
So they did the same thing again, and the younger one went in and had sex with her father. Keep reading.
Verse 36. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father.
So now both the daughters of Lot were pregnant from their father. What do you call that in today's society? Incest. What usually happens to kids that are born from incest?
Retardation.
Retarded. Salakia. They say that's not politically correct to say that.
Like mental disability.
Right. Deformities and disabilities. That usually happens with people that are so close in the gene pool, like mother and father, mother and son, father and daughter, cousins have sex. That's right, D-Boy Reese. Birth defects. Right? Let's keep reading. Now, y'all will be shocked when I say what I'm about to say, because it's in the Bible. Go ahead.
Verse 37. And the firstborn bare his son, and called his name Moab.
Stop. The firstborn bare his son and called his name who?
Moab.
I'm going to tell y'all who these people are in just a second. The first one had a son from incest. She called his name Moab, who will be the father of the Moabites. Keep reading.
The same is the father of the Moabites.
Oh, see, it said right there. Keep
On
reading.
to this day.
Unto this day. Keep reading.
Verse 38. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ammon.
Right, which Ammon. That's what that means. When it says Ben-Ammon, it's Ammon. You understand? Who was the father of the Ammonites. Keep reading.
The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
Exactly. So right now we're reading about the birth of the peoples of Moab and Ammon. Of course, if you know your history in the Bible of who the peoples are today, Moab will be the so-called Chinese race, and Ammon will be the so-called Japanese. And to this day, now y'all gonna think this is hate speech. Those people look like they have birth defects. You understand? It's a term that the white man used to call. They don't call it that no more because it's not politically correct. But you go look in old encyclopedias and old dictionaries, go look up the word mongoloid or mongoloidism. It's having features that are characteristics of having birth defects. That's why they had that look. And if you think I'm sounding ignorant, you niggas know what the hell I'm talking about. Every black person knows exactly what the hell I'm talking about. They got that look. Go ahead, Shapat.
Can I say the Down syndrome look?
Nah, I wouldn't say that one because Down syndrome is a different look. It's got a different look. They just got that look. They got that look. It looks similar to Down syndrome, but it's not the same. It's a look unto them own, unto them. It's like, yeah, that's that. You understand? I.S.U.P.K said incest. You know, when Matthew said they look Chinese, then they don't look Chinese. They are Chinese. They are the Chinese people. Or why do you say ancestral intercourse produces children of the suffrage of Mongoloism? Yup. Chink eyes, Salaki. That's what it is. You look at Asians today, and out of all races of people, Asians look the most homogenous. Anybody know what that word homogenous means? Asians today look the most homogenous. Homo means what? So like I'm a nerd, so I like Latin and the root words and garbage. Homo means the same. The same. Genus means look, for lack of a better word. Homogeneous means the same look, meaning Asians, out of all races of people, look the most similar to each other. You understand? I remember watching Rush Hour, and Chris Tucker kept making jokes to Jackie Chan. Oh, y'all look alike. He kept calling everybody Lee. And it wasn't Jackie Chan. Oh, y'all look alike. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, those are jokes. But they was funny because this is what we all know. You understand? It wouldn't have been funny if it was a new joke. It was funny because we all know Asians all look alike, and they all have a look that is not normal. They're not a good way, not normal. You understand? They have a look that is not normal, and it's because they are the children of incest to this day. You understand? And while you think the Asians are wise people and ancient Chinese proverb says, and all that, and you want to go study kung fu and all that garbage, they are people of incest. And the Bible calls them a washpot, meaning they're disgusting. Look at what they eat. Just look at all the mukbangs, or you call it mukbangs, where you show Asians eating octopus and squids, and just look how they eat and the things they do. They're disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting. Those are the Moabites. So I bring that out to say, your father that claims to be a Moabite from the tribe of Judah, he's just a brother who's trying to find something black, and he just ran into another form of Christianity. That's what he did. He tried to find something that seemed like it was black, thinking he called himself a Moor, when he just ran into another form of Christianity. You understand? Because to be a Moabite would mean you would be a Chinese person, a descendant of the people you call Chinese today. You understand? And you can't be the tribe of Judah and Moab, because who did Moab come from? Lot. What is Lot's relationship to Abraham?
His cousin.
His nephew. No sweat. His brother's son, his nephew. Lot was Abraham's nephew. Salakia. Yeah. Lot was Abraham's nephew. You understand? And because Lot was Abraham's nephew, that would have to mean that Judah has no relation to Moab. You understand? So you can't be a Moabite from the tribe of Judah. Either you're a Moabite or you're a Judite. So, you know, your uncle, he should start watching classes, Darnell, brother. Darnell Wallace, that's his name. You should tell your uncle, start watching classes. I mean, and if he think he knows something, just tell him, tune in and ask questions. We welcome questions, man. But just know, you're going to find out that your uncle doesn't know what he thinks he knows and what you might think he knows. You understand? Because this Bible is the pinnacle of all knowledge. This Bible supersedes whatever knowledge of the world and whatever people think to be wise and knowledge, right? So, like, let me get this other brother question. He had asked a question about this young man Matthew. He asks, he said, Salaki, sir, was Africans the first recorded homosexuals in biblical history or history in general? In biblical history. And I would venture to say, I could be wrong. I know for a fact biblical history. But I don't think it's far-fetched to say it was in general history as well. I don't know if any other records that recorded, you understand, homosexuality like that. So I think this is the first record in history of homosexuality. You understand? You know, Matthew says, Salaki, I always get confused why black people follow the Muslim religion when it says in the Quran, God's chosen people are Israelites. Why wouldn't you want to be God's chosen people? Because the white man didn't say it. Go ahead.
Nah, I was going to say Africa take that L.
Oh, yeah. Take that L. Oh, yeah. Africa been taking L since when they started putting plates in their lip and rings on their neck and bathing in cow pee. You understand? And listen, we're not African. We are not African. And I know it might seem strange because, well, we all came from the west coast of Africa. Well, life started in Africa. That's a lie. Life did not originate in Africa. That's a lie. The Bible tells you where life originated. You understand? The life started in what you would call today the Middle East. Even in the history books the white man gives you, they tell you the oldest civilization was what? Anybody know? I know because I was a good student. It's like now, Mesopotamia, ancient Mesopotamia. Some of y'all, that might ring a bell when you hear it. Some of y'all like, what the hell are you talking about? You go look up the history of Mesopotamia and where that is today. That's Iraq. It's modern day Iraq, the same place where Babylon was, Sumer, Babylon. You understand? It's Iraq, the Middle East. I don't think of Iraq today because of the people that inhabit that land today, brother. That land used to be ours, and it didn't used to be no damn desolate wasteland like that either. Iraq used to be plush, tropical, just plush. You understand? And it's not no desert and all. It used to be full of palm trees everywhere. Hell, it was like that not too long ago before the white man did what he always does and destroy and murder. You understand? Not too long ago, the Middle East was a plush vacation spot. Go look in the history of how white people in the 50s and 60s was traveling to Saudi Arabia and to Iraq for vacation spots. Go ahead, Ashpa.
So Sumer was like the city of Babylon?
Yes. I believe Sumer was the capital of Babylon. Wow. I would have to double check to look that up. but I believe that's what Sumer. I just know Sumer was in Babylon. I can't remember if it was the capital or not. Where we at? Yep. So all right. So we finished with Lot. That was that. All right. So now let's get this Dan right here. Let's get the breakdown on Dan. Hold on. D-Boy Reese say, didn't the whites in Greece create gymnasiums for homosexuality? D-Boy Reese, you are absolutely right. You understand? The Grecians, the white people in Greece, that's what the word gymnasium literally means. It means naked place. You understand? You go look up what the word gymnasium means in Greek. It means naked place. Because who did the Greeks admire? Now, that's why you got to know history. That's why you got to know history. The brothers in the UPK, because we care about our people, we are charged to know this history. Not just the Bible is history as well, but history out in other archaeological and research and scholastic materials only prove that the Bible has always been right. Who did the Greeks copy and model their society after? Who did they marvel? Think about the Greek gods. I said it earlier, if you was paying attention. I held up this homosexual. I said he's somebody and he's somebody else and somebody else. Who did the Greeks marvel after? The Egyptians. The Greeks marveled after the Egyptians. That's why Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, all those so-called philosophers and those scientists and astronomers, they were building off the knowledge of ancient Egypt. You understand? Or what I said, the Babylonians. That's true technically, because Egypt borrowed from the Babylonians. Babylon was first, but Egypt, you understand, was the foremost society of the time period. That's why to this day the Lord is known as the Lord that brought us out of Egypt and destroyed Egypt, because Egypt was the America of its time. It was the place to be. It was the center of the world. And because the Greeks admired the technological advances and all that, they modeled a lot of their society and culture after the Greeks. They adopted a lot of their things after the Africans, the Egyptians. You understand? And that's why that whole homosexual culture is very pervasive in white culture, because it was pervasive in Egyptian culture. You understand? The Egyptians were notorious homosexuals. And the Greeks, they just continued in that same spirit. And they were notorious homosexuals. And the Romans, forget about it. Rome put the icing on the cake. They topped it off. And to this day, now you have America. And America is the place that has. America is the culmination of all those empires in one. Go ahead, Shapa.
Now, with us being the proof today in America, and people coming from all around the world to see Egypt, is because we made the technology in Egypt.
Right. And that's the thing that people don't understand. You look at how Egypt is admired in history, and it's not because of the people of Egypt, it's because the slaves of Egypt, Hebrews, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the people who were in slavery that built those stinking pyramids that made Egypt great. And that's the same reason why people come to America, not because of the white man, but because of the slaves who made America great and that make America fun today. That make America America without Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans would be Ukraine. Just lifeless. And what anybody know? Somebody name a famous Ukrainian? You can't. You can't. Somebody name a famous Russian? You can't. Somebody name a famous Siberian? That would be America without us. America would be Russia, Ukraine, Siberia, Lithuania, all them stinking white nations that's just known for nothing but vodka and war. You understand? That's America. America is great only because of God's people, right? Perfect example too. If you know the history, the Greeks invaded Egypt also. I just want to tie that back in together. D-Boy Reese, Alexander. In history, they call him Alexander the Great. Nothing was great about him. Alexander the Greek. He conquered Egypt. And that's why those people in Egypt today are not the real Egyptians of old. The real Egyptians were pushed south by the Greeks. They will be your modern day, if you know the people of Sudan, them big-headed, tall, ugly people, that's dark skinned, those the original Egyptians. Those people of Sudan today. You understand? With the big head look like this. You know what I'm saying? Just big, long, round heads and tall, dark, and musty. You understand? Those are the original Africans, the original Egyptians. They were pushed south by the Greeks when Alexander and the Greeks conquered Egypt. That's why when Alexander died, his general Ptolemy took over. And if you know anything about the Ptolemy, he was fascinated with the Egyptian scientists, the Egyptian sciences, and he passed that down to Socrates and Aristotle and all those so-called philosophers. You understand? So that was how, everything is recycled. Just know that everything is recycled. You understand? All right, let's get this dance. Like it. Let's get this. Let's get me. Genesis 30:6. Trooper Mother Yah says South America is the only place in the world that has the same pyramids set up as Egypt. And that's not by chance. It's because we are the same people that built the pyramids in Egypt. And that's what people fail to realize. For any of you that don't want to claim our Hispanic brothers and sisters, we're the same people. The same Negroes that built the pyramids in Egypt are the same bloodline as the so-called Hispanics that built them over here. We're the same people. We've always been the same people, and we will always continue to be the same people. You can't opt out of this family. I don't care how much you want to or how much you don't want to believe. You can't opt out of this family. It's a bloodline. You understand? Go ahead, read what you got, Baba Shah.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 6. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
Right. So Dan, of course, was the son of Jacob. You understand? Son of Jacob, one of 12 tribes of Israel. Now, Shapat, more specifically, what was your question? So I can pinpoint where we're gonna go.
Well, so like, how did the tribe of Dan not actually become a tribe?
Okay.
Like, was it because they had a bunch of women, you know what I'm saying? And then like some people, somebody tried to say, well, not tried to say, but has the idea that Dan was the 13th tribe.
Okay. No sweat. See, here's where you want to go is. Okay, so Dan. Get the right piece of. Yep, go ahead.
And you were saying there is no 13th tribe. That's more of a joke. Saying if the Jewish man of today, the white Jewish man of today is a Jew, then it must be 13 tribes, like a joke.
Right. Whenever you hear somebody say 13th tribe, that is never in reference to Dan. That's always in reference to the so-called white man. That's a book you can buy as well. That's one of the I.S.U.P.K study materials. The 13th tribe is written by Arthur Kessler, who was a so-called white man, a so-called Jewish man. You understand? And this white Jewish man, because he cares about history and actually studied the history, he knows that the people that call themselves the Jewish today, and that inhabit that land, in order for them to be a tribe of Israel, he's saying that there will have to be 13 tribes. Why? Because the people of Israel today, the so-called Jewish man, are not of the bloodline of the real 12 tribes of Israel. So that's why that whole term 13 tribe is a jab at the white man who calls himself a Jew, who calls himself Jewish, because there is no 13 tribe. There are only 12 tribes of Israel. But he's saying in order for y'all to be the real Jews, you would have to be the 13th tribe. Meaning he's saying in a roundabout way, in a satirical way, you're not the real Jews, Mr. White Man. You understand? It's a book. That's literally the name of the book, The 13th Tribe by Arthur Kessler. You understand? It's a good book. I have it. I should have brought it in today because it's a real good read when you just go into the history of how what we've been saying in the I.S.U.P.K since 1969 is not far-fetched. Not only is it not far-fetched, it's actually backed by all scholastic materials in history. What we saying is the truth. The people that claim to be Jews today have no rightful claim to that land, to our culture, to that title, to anything that comes with them calling themselves the Jew. They are imposters, and that's why the Lord is going to punish them, because they're running around with an identity that does not belong with them. You understand? They have committed the greatest act of identity theft on the face of the earth. So that 13th tribe is referring to the white man, the Amalek. You understand? They're Khazarians. If you watched Captain Mashak class last Wednesday, the Khazarians come from Russia. You understand? That's who are the so-called Jewish man today. The people that call themselves Jews today, they come from Russia. Southern Russia, what you call today Russia, the Khazars, the Khazarians, those are not real Jews. Those are white European babies running around acting like they're the Jews. You understand? A lot of them are Polish, German, Russian, Slavic. You understand? And how you know is even their language. Anybody know what the white man's language, his so-called Hebrew, is called? He calls it this, not us. Yiddish. If you could, give me the definition of Yiddish, Baba Kushar. Let me just show you something. Just to prove that what we're saying is it's not us just making this up, man. This is knowledge that has been around forever, but we've been so caught up in the lies of Christianity, so caught up in the lies of Islam, so caught up in the lies of the Catholic Church, that we didn't know that this information was here and what it meant and how it related to us. You understand? This is how it relates to us. Go ahead if you could, brother.
Come. Yiddish, a language used by Jewish people in Central and Eastern Europe before the Holocaust. It was originally a German dialect.
Stop right there. Read it again from the top, Baba Gashar, brother.
Yiddish, a language used by Jewish people in Central and Eastern Europe before the Holocaust. It was originally a German dialect.
Stop right there. That Hebrew, that so-called Hebrew today, when y'all and that the white man speaks, and this is why you sound so dumb when you come up against the I.S.U.P.K. You're like, do you know Hebrew? And you start Mazel Tov and Lach Hagalitha and all that garbage. You look stupid because you don't know real Hebrew. You understand? And because the white man doesn't know real Hebrew, he doesn't even know what these words in the Bible means all the way. Because he's comparing his Hebrew, which is not the real Hebrew, to the translation, and it's the reason why you have discrepancies whenever you get the interpretation from the white man. You understand? Like the white man, he'll tell you that Israel means, I don't know what he'll tell you Israel means. He won't tell you it means sons of God or prince of the power. You understand? Because in his language, Yasher Allah is really what? What is Israel in Yiddish? Yisrael. That's Israel in Yiddish. Yisrael. That's why you fake Israelites that put that Y in front of that Israel. Yes, such and such Yisrael. Such and such Yisrael this. Such and such Ben Yahudi and Ben Yahanna and Ben Yisrael and all that garbage. You speaking, you using Yiddish terms. It's not real Hebrew. You understand? The real Hebrew is what we speak. Even the characters of the Yiddish language is not the real characters of the Hebrew. You understand? We know the real characters is called the Lashawan Kodash, the Holy Tongue. We speak it and we write it in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? That Yiddish comes from German. Keep reading.
Come. With words from Hebrew and several modern languages, and is today spoken mainly in the U.S., Israel, and Russia.
Right. It comes from a bastardization of German, our Hebrew, and other Slavic languages, and is mainly spoken where?
The U.S., Israel, and Russia.
The U.S., Israel, and Russia. Go figure. That's the origin of their people, Russia. They got put in the land of Israel in the 1940s. You understand? I don't think the United Nations was established then, but the European nations put them in that land. That land was inhabited before by the Ottoman Empire. You go just do the history on Israel. It's a long breakdown. The Ottomans had it before because the Muslims won it through the Crusades.
Salah, it was a treaty signed by the Rothschilds with England over possession of that land.
Something along those lines.
And the Rothschilds wouldn't let them, because they controlled America's banking system at the time, which is the Federal Reserve. They wouldn't let America get into the war until that treaty was signed. And once it was signed, then they funded America to help with the war. Once they won it, Israel was supposedly just given to them.
It sounds familiar. It was a little bit more to it, though, as well, because that land was also promised to the so-called Turks, who would be the Palestinians, who were the descendants of the Ottoman Empire. And then they reneged on the deal, or they promised it to both of them and then left. And that's how you have the Palestinian Jewish conflict to this day. Either way, neither one of those bastard people have a rightful claim to that land. And until the rightful people who belong in that land are returned to that land, it will always be war. There will never be peace in that land, ever, because it doesn't belong to either one. That land is ours. You understand? That land is ours. Or what it says, Zion Lex said, Lashawan Kodash is not real. Yeah, of course. Meanwhile, Zion Lex is trying to learn the meta netter and whatever else garbage he claims is real. You understand? I ain't heard no nigga speak fluent meta netter. Fluent Ka Kemet. Break it down for me. I would love to meet a nigga that speak fluent Kemet. Go ahead.
It's amazing to me. I've never seen two Kemet scholars agree. All the way across the board.
Yep.
Like if they had a book, they wouldn't agree from the beginning to the end. And I'm talking about just two of them,
right?
Let alone a whole group of them.
That's because it's hogwash, as my granny used to say. It's hogwash. It's garbage. That's what it is. It ain't real. You understand? Your whole belief in Kemet was based off of white men, white archaeologists. That's where that whole fascination with Egypt comes from. British and Dutch archaeologists. I can't remember the names. What you should do, April 2nd, the Alhambra Ballroom in Harlem, New York. Captain Tazariak is going to be debating Islam, Kemet, everybody, the conscious community. You understand? He's gonna be smashing all the doctrine in one lecture. You understand? I will be in attendance. You should definitely try to make it up there. I don't know how far you are, but it's gonna be in Harlem, New York, April 2nd, the Alhambra Ballroom. You understand? You tune in and watch us prove, like we always do, we are the foremost experts on history, on the Bible, on Black issues, on race relations. You understand? I want to say everything, but that's very overzealous. You're gonna find out that the UPK, we about our job. You understand? We take this serious and we do the research. You understand? And we've never lost and we will never lose because the Lord is with us.
Right.
And that's what none of you else can boast. You understand? You can boast all your degrees and the different schools you went to. The Lord isn't with you. So the wisdom that you have is wisdom of this world. The wisdom of the Lord supersedes that. And we'll prove it. April 2nd. Alhambra Ballroom, Harlem, New York. Ooh-wee. Right? So where we at? Right. So the Yiddish is not real Hebrew. That's German, Polish, Slavic, Russian bastard language. It's not real. Where am I at? All right, so Dan.
Like the breakdown. Like, it's like if I made on how they felt like they didn't grow into a tribe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, get me. Give me Revelation 7 and 4.
Oh, God. God. The book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed, and 144. Hold up, 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Verse 5. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephthalim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Verse 7. Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Verse 8. Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. Verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude.
So you start right there. So what we're reading about right here is once again listing the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, if you notice, it did not list the tribe of Dan or who else? Ephraim. And I'm going to show you why I did not list Dan or Ephraim. Give me Genesis 47 and 11. Genesis 47 and 11.
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 11. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, and the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. Verse 12. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. Verse 13. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very, very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine.
Right. So Joseph, when you look at the 12 tribes chart, Joseph is represented on that tribe twice as Ephraim and Manasseh. You understand? Joseph is on there twice. For time's sake, Joseph is on there twice. So I can't remember the specific reason why. I think it has something to do with this right here. I had to go ask to be sure. But Joseph is represented on the 12 tribes chart twice as Ephraim and Manasseh. Ephraim will be your so-called Puerto Ricans today. Manasseh will be your so-called Cubans today. Dan was a tribe, but their numbers became too small where they just became a large family and they were absorbed into Manasseh. You understand? Dan at one point was a tribe. They still are a tribe, you understand, but they're absorbed into Manasseh because their numbers declined so much. Just think of what a tribe is. Just think of what's some of the large families in America. Think of the Johnson family. You understand? If your last name is Johnson and you are Judite, y'all go down to them family reunions down in Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia, and brother, y'all got a whole damn near. You would think it was a tribe. Think of Dan like that. Think of the Jacksons or the Johnsons or the Williams. What's another popular Judite last name? There's a lot of them. Jackson, Johnson, Williams. Williams is another one. You get the point. Washingtons, you understand? Smiths, you understand? You find Judites that got that name. When they go down to the family reunions, it's so many of them. You understand? It's large. It's really large numbers of the family. Think of Dan as that, where they were big enough they were large like that, but they weren't big enough to be their own tribe still. The numbers dwindled so much that they were absorbed into Manasseh. You understand? They were absorbed into Manasseh. And to this day, whenever you see on the 12 tribes chart, whenever you see Dan, you don't see Dan. Just know Dan is within Manasseh to this day. You understand? A famous Danite, you might know who, of course, they'll say one of the most famous people from the tribe of Dan is who? Jones is another one. Jones is definitely another one. Another common Judite last name. What was that? What I just asked? Salakia. Salakia, yeah. A famous Danite, a famous brother from the tribe of Dan would be Samson. Samson was from the tribe of Dan. You understand? He's from the tribe of Dan. That tribe today is absorbed into Manasseh. You understand? Get me. So many scriptures. I'm trying to find the exact one that I'm looking for. It'll tell you that Dan was absorbed into Manasseh. And this is what you should learn and know. I've heard a lot of theories on Dan, like a lot of white people, conspiracy theories that try to break down this Bible. They'll say the Antichrist is going to come from the tribe of Dan. They'll say that the tribe of Dan was destroyed because of their idolatry. That's not the case. Their numbers just simply dwindled. You understand? They weren't having enough sons. That's how your numbers dwindle. When you have more girls than you have boys. You understand? Go read about when we taking out numbers for our different tribes. Brother, Judah was always having sons. Judah was having sons left and right and has always been, I think, the most populated tribe. You understand? In the biblical records, Judah was always have large numbers. You understand? Dan, they weren't having enough sons. And when you don't have enough boys, you understand, you don't continue that lineage. And this is why it's so important. When I look at America, this is a little sidebar with the whole Black Girls Rock and, the whole thing where all you see is Black women empowerment and Black girl empowerment. And it's like, okay, but you leaving out the Black boys. You leaving out Black men. And the thing is, that's on purpose. These whole Black women empowerment and Black girl empowerment movements are not really Black empowerment movements. Any movement that will separate the Black man from the Black woman, you understand, is really to the detriment of the Black woman and the Black family. Like, real Black power is us together. If real Black power is Black people rock, you understand? But the fact you say Black girls rock, that's white supremacy. Because who would benefit from us not building up our men and boys? Our oppressor. Because with your men and boys, you have an army. With men and boys, you continue the legacy and lineage of your people. That's why in history in Egypt, when Pharaoh went to try to kill, try to destroy our people, he didn't kill the girls. He gave the decree to kill the firstborn male child of our people. You understand? Because our enemies have always understood the importance of men, of boys. You understand? We lost that understanding. We have a culture of bashing Black men. We have a culture of belittling and emasculating Black men and leaving out Black boys. And that's to our detriment, because you don't build strong people without men. You don't build a strong society without men. Believe that. So all that feminist garbage that sisters be running to, following out the white woman, that's trash. Because without men, you fail to exist as a people. You understand? For time's sake, Shapat, and also too, I'm gonna ask tomorrow to see. Let's get the full precepts on Dan. But Dan was absorbed into Manasseh, the tribe of Manasseh. They still are people. They just are within Manasseh to this day. That's who they're represented in the 12 tribes through Manasseh. Ephraim and Manasseh are both Joseph represented twice on that chart. You understand? The Lord said Jacob told his sons when he was giving their blessings that Joseph will have a double portion. And that's his double portion. You understand? Manasseh and Ephraim. Joseph is represented twice on that 12 tribes chart. On the 12 tribes. Okay. Right, where we at? I think that's everything. I'm about to go into heaven and hell next week. With that, we're gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shapat Dayak.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give it to the Treasury Department of Teachers. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, the Passover, the 14th day of the first month, Friday, April the 15th, 2022. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the 15th day of the first month, Saturday, April the 16th, 2022. Find us in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 1 through 5. The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 4 through 5. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7 through 8. And the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 30, verse 17. Remind Occupant Aquatia to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, and scarf. And with that, I say imagine, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahanna, Shimi, Al-Shab, Rakatah.
Yahanna, Shimi, Al-Shab, Rakatah.
Yad Yom Matal, class dismissed.
Make sure y'all like and share the stream. I'm going to say it one more time. Like and share the damn stream, man. Like and share the damn stream. Do it. All right. Shalom. Shalom.